Genshin endgames are some of the silliest and most difficult aspects of the game. Essentially, they are a skill, DPS, support, and rotation check in some cases. Several things I am not good at. To explain, Echoes are challenges unlocked by beating the Imaginarium Theater, which is another endgame portion. Typically, it's a solo run of a character testing out their abilities or gimmicks, and occasionally they have an entourage to watch you rage. It's broken up into two parts, the first part being something with their utility, such as climbing, or basic elemental usages. When testing out their abilities or gimmicks, normally it's a DPS check, just putting on crits on them and seeing what you can do to hit. Even if the character is a support unit, for some reason, it just wants you to build them as a DPS. I'm looking at Yelan, Keqing's, and Kirara's challenges. Yelan goes off solo and starts off by killing hilichurls, grabbing glowing balls, and balloons. So there's three main things to look at. In this first part of the challenge, it's balancing your movement and your shooting ability. In this, I actually had a very good crit rate and crit damage, but even with that, I still could not one-shot these guys. I had to constantly go back behind me and make sure they were dead, otherwise I wouldn't be counted towards killing them. Look at this guy and his refusal of death. It just disgusts me. Accept your fate and perish. And the process continues. Grab, lasso, cowboy, and fire away. It continues all the way down the bridge until the end where the same process occurs. It's rinse and repeat 3 times, basically, within the time limit. As you can see by my masterful murders, I had plenty of time to spare, which is absolutely wonderful because I finished the challenge. At this point, I had time to redo my kit. Next is this boss fight. It's the Pyro Regisvine. It took quite a few tries. This boss plays dirty too, because to even damage him, we have to get through his shield, which is 3 shots with elemental damage to his head, and he bobs around like he's freaking listening to Metallica on a Thursday night. And after that, you just go ahead and you do method shots, because not only can you not damage him, because he has another shield. Keep in mind, for Yelan's kit, I had to focus more on crit than energy recharge, and unfortunately, it caused me to suffer. I had to keep in mind what my energy recharge was before I could even attack the boss. In this fight, I have to break 6 shields total. I am unable to kill it being weakened twice. There were a few mistakes I did. The first was the slime not dying. Problem is, if he isn't killed, his buddies and himself don't respawn. And as you can see, I can kill them in one swoop, but doing that brings my energy up, and if they don't respawn, it's a lot more difficult. The next one was a missed shot. I did miss a shot, and it did cost me some time. And the last one was another missed slime here, and he caused a little bit of energy loss, and he stole my damage meant for the boss. As you can see, my crit rate, crit damage were amazing in this. My ER percentage was not ideal, but it was okay for what I had. Fortunately, I had a lot of great artifacts with amazing rolls. None, of course, from the same set, so I don't get any bonuses. She is Yelana C0 with level 9 talents. For Keqing, her first challenge was the lighting monuments, which she tried her best to do with a few flaws. Nothing too crazy. In the combat portion, the gimmick of her teleport was utilized with popping balloons, and whoever likes these balloons so much needs to find a new obsession, because I'm telling you, this ain't it. Popping these gives an attack buff, and occasionally in the fight, a Dendro Ball appears and helps by giving us some Dendro application. All this fight is a DPS check. Yelan was more of how her kit worked, utilizing her bow and energy recharge. Keqing is just a slash fest. It's just a murder-happy party, sometimes interrupted by balloon popping, which is kind of actually related. The last portion of this fight are 2 big guys, which just need a few chopping and cuts before we get to the end. Honestly, her skill was working far more than her burst in this case. For her kit, I did around a 50 to 300 crit ratio with 110 ER. She had the only limited 5-star weapon I've ever pulled in this game, followed by the Gladiator set, giving her more attack damage percentage. She's C1, which really isn't anything too crazy, and her talents are 9, 8, 7 respectively. There are a few mistakes in this fight. The most notable was when I didn't time my balloon popping right, and that's about it. Most of my shots made it, and I didn't waste any of my stamina too much. To Kirara. Kirara is known for her climbing ability, and it's It's pretty much all she does. She just climbs walls and uses her cat box to go everywhere she'd like. I hardly use Kirara's ability or her skills at all, so using it for the first time was kind of cool, but it's really nothing too crazy about to use. It wasn't very difficult to understand either. And I did it with so much time to spare. It was a very easy trial. When starting this, I put Kirara on a DPS build. Every challenge thus far was focused on that build, and I tried it, and it did not work for me at all. I was just hitting walls. She was not built to be this. When I finally decided to look up how to build her, I changed up my build. She's a support character through and through, and she does not deviate from that at all. I changed from her crit to an elemental mastery, and she blew up everyone in range, which is wonderfully appreciated. Her kit was EM focused, so her dendro bombs did more damage, and her crits were neglected in favor of this. Though one advantage was, I had her constellations at C6, which helped a lot with the elemental buffs. Her kit reflected everything I've just said, and that's pretty much what I focused on in that. Now onto the ratings. Yelan's Echo was decent, and her skill application was fine. The level of difficulty, in my opinion, was too high. Yelan is not a complex character, but having to focus on a damage output while maintaining ER in this scenario was unreasonable, and the shields were not fun either. She's going probably in an A difficulty just for the amount of time I had to put into her to complete this and how I had to focus more on different things. Keqing's Echo was not hard except for her crits to kick in. I was betting on them highly. Dividing attention wasn't that bad, but I don't like how Keqing takes damage or interruptions while trying to teleport. That was the most annoying thing. I would try to get a buff, but while in the middle of trying to teleport, I would just get interrupted, and that really hurt my time. Overall, I put her in a B tier. It was just about timing. It wasn't a difficult fight, but I definitely had to focus a lot more on what was happening around me. Kirara was easy. She is just a very easy character to use. I've never used her before, so having to learn how to use her was not a steep curve. It was just an elemental battle. It was focused on her gimmick of creating dendro cores, which was just an easy thing to do. She gets a C tier because I was able to finish her in less than 10 minutes and clear that, which was great. I may or may not continue this, trying out a few more echoes to see how it goes. I'm currently trying to get more. Anyways, goodbye.